What is the typical mindset of a first year MBBS student?
When the student comes in,
What are the lifestyle changes do students face?
sudden lifestyle change for which unfortunately they are often not.
Many students prefer engineering over MBBS.
When you go medical career, the whole thing shifts.
Majority of students in our country are from state books.
Language is a barrier, agreed.
Right. But how do peer pressure affect students' mental health?
Do not deal with this situation on your own if you feel you're not.
The Crazy Careers podcast is guiding students to chase their dreams without confusion. In this episode, we dive into the life of first year MBBS students, exploring hostel challenges, academic pressure, language barrier, peer expectations, and mental health, while uncovering how mentor, counselor, and supportive parents can make their medical journey smoother. Our guest today is Dr. Vaishaly, founder DV Anatomy Academy. She is also a medical educator and a counselor. I welcome you to the Crazy Careers podcast. Thank you so much for joining us in today.
Hi, I'm Namaskar. Hi, Nita. I'm Dr. Vaishaly Bharambe. I've been teaching anatomy for more than 30 years, and my whole life is dedicated to the fact that there is a first MBBS student out there who needs me, who needs to understand the subject for me. At the same time, he needs to understand that in a joyous environment. So I have dedicated my life and my channel to this. Learn and enjoy as well.
So since you have worked in this field and you are working in this field, so I would like to know what is the typical mindset of a first year MBBS students when they start college?
It's a lovely question. Nita, it's something people should know that when the student comes in into the first MBBS, his thought process is very joyous. He is happy, he or she, that they've got admission. They are also, there is a sense of pride, okay, because they've finally gotten into medical college. And there is that beautiful idealism. There are dreams. I will do this. I will take care of my patients in this way, that way. And there is an excitement in that child. I think there is not enough understanding of the amount of studies they are going to face. That is also there. But that's my typical first MBBS student.
Right. So, what are basically the lifestyle changes do students face, especially while shifting to hostels and staying away from family? And of course, that first year would be difficult for them. So, I just would like to know, like, what are the basic lifestyle changes that they have to adapt to this process?
This is again, you seem to have done very good research, Nita, because this second question is also very relevant. When they come into medicine,
the reason like I wanted answers for these questions, because whenever an MBBS student or aspiring MBBS student would watch this podcast, they would be like, it would really help them to understand what is the lifestyle changes and everything that they have to adapt, and they have to be in that mindset or zone before entering into that field.
Absolutely. In fact, this podcast is going to help the child prepare better, or the young adult prepare better for the coming 5 years of their life.
Right.
So let's say when a student comes into medical college, most of them land up shifting into hostels. Sudden lifestyle change for which unfortunately they are often not prepared. Absence of parents, parental comfort, and comfort of a home. Simple things like doing your own laundry. Who is used to it? Nobody knows how to do it. They don't know how clothes take hours to dry. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to get space for drying clothes. In fact, one of the most important changes they face is absence of personal space. At your own home, you have a space. You are given your privacy. You are allowed to sit. You can do your studies. But in hostel, you are suddenly sharing a room with maybe 2 other kids. You are not many a times prepared for that. The lack of privacy, the lack of sometimes the quiet that you want to study, all this becomes something they begin to ask they want in life. Lack of food of their taste. Food is good, but it's not of your taste. And then you feel, oh, I was hungry. I didn't land up eating. So slowly, some of them land up losing weight and becoming ill, falling sick. When you fall sick again, missing off home, because when you are sick, your mother used to take so much care of you, mother and father. Suddenly, there is nobody uh, of that category. It's not like there is nobody there. There are doctors, there are people who will take care of you. But the emotional support that you need from parents at such times is their physical presence is not there. All this is a big change for a young adult. See, we are not talking about a grown up. We are talking about a person who's just turned 18, quite young. So this change is a lot for them to cope with sometimes.
Right. We all know, like many of the students and talented students, I would say, they would prefer engineering over MBBS because of the amount of studies and, I mean, the kind of extensive syllabus that comes with an MBBS curriculum. So, I would like to know, I mean, why is the shift from objective kind of curriculum that we have until 12th standard to conceptual learning is really challenging for MBBS students? And can we do something to reduce that gap? So many of
Sorry.
the students who would not like to opt for MBBS because of these reasons, but I mean, after making those changes, they would really love to go ahead with this career option.
So I'll tell you one thing. This is a problem I'm not saying only medical students face. Many engineering students face it too. But
Yeah.
till our standard 12th, we really have a very objective kind of curriculum. You're asked
Yeah.
questions. Your whole curriculum is defined. This is what you should know. This is how you will be assessed. You have a standard pattern of assessment. The answers are given. The questions are also given. The effort is in learning them.
Yeah.
Whereas now, when you go, especially in medical curriculum, the whole thing shifts from limited curriculum to a very vast curriculum. It's almost, you can say, endless. You study and you are expected to explore a lot more on your own. Now, at some point of time, an expectation from the student that you have to self interpret. See, till now, you were given the answer. Now you
Yeah.
are expected to interpret it. You are expected to put in your own emotional reaction to it. Okay. And emotional intelligence is now expected from you. The curriculum is endless. You have to work on it to build in concepts. That's a
Yeah.
lot to expect from that standard 12th kid to this, because first MBBS begins with a bang and it just doesn't give you that gentle conversion into the new method of learning. It just expects you to adapt. Most of them do, but many of them don't. And they find it very challenging. It's again a very relevant question. Yes, students have to be somehow mentally prepared for this. Hopefully, when they watch this podcast, they'll understand that you must be mentally prepared that the whole method of your learning is going to change. If you are
Right.
prepared, maybe you will end up performing better, adapting to the new method a little better.
Right. So, majority of students in our country are from state boards, and the first language for them is their mother tongue. So, when we go for undergraduate courses, that time we get to know the entire curriculum and everything is English based. So, how do you think that language barrier actually affects students' confidence, and what they can do to overcome that? And also have a good academic performance as well.
Yes. Students come in. There is, the amazing thing is there are some students who are extremely good at English, some who
Yeah.
are quite well versed with it. And then there is that category of intelligent students who are not well versed with the language. So it is not only that all of us are facing a challenge. It's not that. There are some who are facing a challenge, and that makes them feel very isolated. Now, understanding the subject is one thing, but to understand the language first and then to understand the subject makes the whole learning curve very steep for the child. You can tell the student it doesn't matter, you will cope. But of course, it matters to that student at that time. They all cope, yes. But those who have to cope with language difference have the learning curve a lot steeper. No doubt about it. So now what can be done? One is that have confidence Have confidence that you are going to learn this new language. Okay. Secondly, remember, your grammar doesn't matter. Your knowledge does. Oh, this is not a grammar school at all. It's a medical school. It is based on knowledge, not on grammar. Thirdly, initially learn in your own language. Explain to yourself in your own language. And then with time, remember the specific terms come in English. Your whole sentence can be a little bit of mix up of English, and nobody in their sensible mind would object to that. Finally, remember the government is backing you. Remember that it is this government, Modi government, which has told students that you can learn in Hindi as well. Funnily enough, after for the first time in India, we have got medical curriculum coming out, books coming out in Hindi. So it is with it is with great pride that I say that learn in your maternal mother tongue, learn in your mother tongue, understand in your mother tongue. Just remember one thing, word of caution. At some point, you would want to deal with other doctors outside of India with whom your communication is often in English. So as you learn in your mother tongue, you have to at some point begin to cope with the language of English. But you have the government's blessing to do the initial learning in Hindi. I myself am extremely fond of the Hindi language. And therefore, I am saying this with great joy that go ahead and learn it. Understand, build your concepts. That is important. Language is a barrier, agreed. But you can cope with that better than lack of actual knowledge in medicine. That is something you cannot cope with. Hindi, English के साथ आप cope कर ही लोगे. Okay, that's my take where language is concerned.
Right.
Okay.
The more we have to be adaptable rather than being adamant. I mean, we have our personal choices, right? We can learn in English, Hindi, and in our mother tongue. But you have to be open. Like when you're meeting global doctors, in that case, like global engineers, or there is a technology transfer happening globally, and there are knowledge transfer happening globally. So you need to learn that. I mean, nobody is stopping you to learn in your mother tongue or in Hindi, but you should have a little bit of inclination towards English as well. That's what I think.
I totally agree with you. You've summarized it beautifully. That's exactly what I'm saying. That learn in your own language, but parallelly allow yourself to build a knowledge base of English as well, because your future is going to be the most senior level books in your specialization may not be in Hindi. To cope at that time would be difficult. So learn in Hindi or your mother tongue today, but slowly begin to build up a knowledge base of the English language. That would be my advice. But don't take too much stress about it, because I'm telling you, small kids of 18 find that the language is the biggest barrier. Believe me, language is not the biggest barrier. Your lack of knowledge is biggest barrier. I have taught for 30 years. I know. Okay. I know that it is a lack of knowledge, which is the biggest barrier.
Right. Absolutely. So the next question is something that everybody would expect an answer from you. And everybody should also be aware and know about this. So I would really like to ask, like, how do peer pressure and family expectation affect students' mental health? Because we are hearing a lot of student suicide cases here and now.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this question as first peer pressure with examples, then parental pressure. So I'll tell you, peer pressure is of two types. One is when somebody you know is studying tremendously. A peer of yours is studying all the time. You are personally not inclined to study that much. What happens to you? Pressure. He's studying so much. She's studying so much. I am not studying. I don't. You are an individual. You are not living in in a world of comparison. You are now developing yourself as a single human being. Forget what they are doing. One. Second is you are very inclined to study. But there are others who say, why are you studying so much? There's no need, because they are feeling that pressure. Okay. So you are now feeling that my parents have spent so much money on my education. I want to study. I want to be a good doctor, but they are not letting me study. And this is an example of my student about 12 years back who was from outside India, who would sit in the library to study sincerely. And the whole lot of the other kids would bully him for studying to an extent that he said, I've told my parents, I don't want to complete this. I can't take it anymore. So this is the level of reaction sometimes students have. Of course, we had a great counselor and we had a very good head of the department who told him that I will come and sit in the library with you. I will back you up and you will study to your heart's content. Once the students understood that the head is backing this student, he was automatically left to do his studies. So dealing with peer pressure is not only a personal challenge. It is also a challenge of the college. College also comes forward to support the student. You have to have the ability and the confidence to approach them. Don't deal with excessive peer pressure on your own. Okay. So that's peer pressure. Let's talk about parental pressure. See, let's think of the parents. Parents have that pride that my child has got into medicine. Now my child is going to become this, going to do that. There's sense of pride. So they keep telling their child that you have gone there, study well, study hard, try to come in the first five, if not the first. Whereas the student is living that moment of inability to deal with hostel, isolation in hostels. Sometimes, if you are not an outgoing personality, everybody just simply isolates you in the hostel. And you begin to wonder, that am I there or not? Are they not seeing me? It's very sad for that child. And the child, under the pressure of parental expectations, doesn't share this with their parents. Child feels that, okay, I'll cope. But the pressure of performing, pressure of staying happy from parents is also a lot. Because they want you to be happy. They are not being there. They are not, they don't realize that they're putting so many kinds of pressure on that child. Again, at this point, I will say no student is alone. There have to be and often are good counselors to help students deal with this. Again, have the confidence and the faith to approach. Do not deal with this situation on your own if you feel you're not coping. Okay?
Right, right. So, yes, since you have mentioned about mentor and counselor, I would like to know what is the exact difference between a mentor and a counselor, and how important it is for how both are especially important for the medical students.
Wonderful. Now, I will answer this as a counselor first. Then I'll answer it as a mentor because I work as both. So
Right.
a counselor. So I'm a trained counselor and my first job is to encourage students to come to approach me. I must come across as somebody who is approachable. I cannot have a mean, very strict look on my face. Come to me, I'll show you. No, no. Come to me. We will talk. Plus, I have to make sure my student realizes that whatever they share with me does not go beyond. I have the legal binding on me not to share it beyond. So the confidence that student must have in me that they can share and I will not gossip about it. I will not share it with others. Okay. So in this role, I have to tell my student how to cope with that momentary challenge. That can be emotional challenge. It can be academic challenge. It can be just pressure of the peers. All these challenges, I help them cope at that moment and in that short period of time. Once my student feels they are confident to move forward, they move forward. I no longer have to keep on, following up with them. If they want, they can approach me. That's what a counselor is. Counselor helps the student heal and cope at that moment and a short period post that. But who is a mentor? Mentor is often somebody who guides you along the path of personal ethics, ambitions, personal development, and more than that, academic development. So many a times student comes into medicine and realizes that, oh, I am enjoying this subject, X, maybe pharmacology, maybe surgery. And then they feel that, but then how do I go from liking a subject to making a career in it? So at that moment, if there is a mentor there, the mentor says, okay, are you enjoying this? Good. Do you want to explore some more? Can I connect you to somebody else from that department who can discuss this with you further? So, encouraging the student, helping them realize their strengths and weaknesses, and guiding them along a career path is the job of a mentor. Here, the relationship is different. Here, the mentor often has a long term relationship with the mentee. Career decisions don't happen in 10 days and 15 days or even a month. So the student says, while I began my journey along the surgery, after a point of time, sir, I feel or ma'am, I feel it's becoming too challenging. I am not understanding. So to be able to guide my student along that path again, to encourage my student can be my role as a mentor versus telling my student that, oh, it's all right. There are so many more career paths for you. Guiding that student along another path as per the student's personal ability are all the jobs of a mentor.
Yes, yes. Lastly, I would like to know, what can colleges and parents do better to support students' well-being, mental well-being?
This is very important, and I would love to talk about this. First is let us understand that this is a student who's just turned 18 or maybe 19, new, young adult. Let's understand that they have a right to feel happy. They have a right to go into their new career with some peace of mind. Let's not drown them in knowledge. Let them imbibe it gently, slowly, and with enjoyment, which means that we need to decide how much a first MBBS can imbibe, how much they should know at that stage, and maybe give them a little time. First MBBS is barely 9 months. They may say it is 1 year and so on, but it is barely 9 months. Admissions are late. The students come in. They take time to adjust to the new environment, and we literally drown them in studies. That makes first MBBS very, very emotionally challenging for the child. Let's not traumatize a child. No. If the the empathy is what is required from a student, then where is our empathy? Should we not be empathetic towards the plight of the young child or young adult? We have to first know, feel empathy, understand what that human being is going through. Only an emotionally strong individual will emerge as a doctor, which is what we expect. Are we not saying that the doctor should be empathetic? Then we have to give them time to come into this new, beautiful world of medicine. I have learned my first year with 1.5 year of time. That was the way it was in olden days. But now we've reduced it to 1 year, thinking that the foundation can be hurried through. Therein lies the challenge.
Right.
Foundation cannot be hurried through. Foundations have to be built strong, which is why people like me have come out and have started creating VB Anatomy channel, because I want to provide them with a strong foundation. Not because it is something I want, but because it is the need of the time. We have to build strong foundation, which means a student must be given time to learn, must be given time to enjoy the process of this beautiful journey in which the student is there. Let them enjoy it. So my suggestion is give them time. Give them time. Let it be 1.5 year again. It's all right. But even that extra 6 months that we give them, it actually brings more joy in the process of learning for the student. Is it not worth giving them that joy? How can we tell a student to begin the race before the student learns how to run the race? Let him or her learn how to run the race. Then they will run it, they will ace it. They are ideal medical students, probably the best in the world. But let's give them time to learn. My humble request to the authorities is give the student time. Let them enjoy medicine. It's a beautiful subject. Let them enjoy it. So that for me is the solution. And of course, adequate number of counselors for the student. If this is not happening, then let's keep enough number of counselors so that students get time to talk, they get inspired to go talk and share their challenges with that person and get required guidance. Lastly, in this country which has started to emerge as a strong sports promoting country, why are medical students not given adequate opportunity to pursue sports? Why is this one fraternity
Yeah.
supposed to only study? Allow them, give them compulsory time when they should be going and playing, physically exerting themselves. Okay? No, throughout for hundreds of centuries, we've known that physical exercise is something none of us can do without. Then why is a medical student not given that time? Give them time, make them exercise. Let them get that stress out of their body. They are human beings. They are not machines. So they must have an overall growth in their physical well-being, in their emotional well-being, as well as in their mental well-being. So all these boxes have to be ticked. Then we will have the perfect medical, which is what it was about 30 years back. And the world has acknowledged this. Let us work and go back to that perfect medical student.
With you, and thank you so much for joining us and giving time from your busy schedule. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure. I hope the authorities have heard me out. Please help this young medical student, and we will get paid back in amazingly by the journey of each of them. But let's support them a little better. Okay. Thank you so much, Nita, for having me on your podcast.